Thank you for joining us for the May edition of the City Managers Forum. Today we'll be talking to three community leaders in Logan County that help us with good advice for our family and our health and our safety. First, we will be talking to Julie Gimmel with the Oklahoma Blood Institute. She is the account representative for Logan County. Then we will be speaking with Courtney McLemore with the Logan County Health Department. And lastly, David Ball with the Logan County and City of Guthrie Emergency Management. Thank you for joining us today, Julie. I wanted to probably talk to you mostly about what all does OBI do here in Logan County. I know that you're here as an account rep, right. And kind of talk to me about the donations that you receive here and how does that help people?
Okay. Here in Guthrie, actually, the blood drives are sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Logan County, and we provide all the blood to that hospital, so it's a great partnership. And we come every 2 months and do a blood drive at the hospital. And it helps Guthrie and it helps Oklahomans because the Oklahoma Blood Institute actually provides every drop of blood to all the hospitals here in the central part of Oklahoma and to over 90% of the hospitals across our state. And oftentimes people say that they don't like to donate because they don't like needles, but unfortunately that's the only way you can donate. And nationally, 5 to 10% of the population donates. So it's important for those that are able to donate blood to donate to help support our hospitals and our patients that need blood every day.
If I didn't know my blood type, is that okay for me to still come and donate?
It sure is. We actually, if you're a first-time blood donor, we will type your blood, and you'll actually receive a donor card in the mail with your blood type on it. You'll also receive the test results from your blood and a free cholesterol screening every time you donate. So it's like getting a little mini physical every time you donate.
Fantastic. So my next opportunity to donate blood within Logan County would be when?
Thursday, June 11th.
June 11th.
At the hospital. And we have a really fun promotion in June. We actually join up with the Oklahoma City Zoo. And so we'll have a zoo-themed t-shirt and 2 tickets to the zoo for everyone who comes out and donates.
But we're not bringing zoo animals into Mercy Hospital?
No, they kind of frown upon that at the hospital.
Just tickets to the zoo, which I think is great. Yes. And we get a t-shirt usually.
Yes, get a free t-shirt. Here's a copy of the Hero t-shirt that we have.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. Fun. Yeah. So my purpose for donating is to save Oklahomans' lives. Right. Is that right?
Right.
Is that would be a good reason?
Yes, and you never know whose life you'll be saving, but when you come out and donate, you know that your donation is going to save somebody's life. And when I talk to kids at high schools, I often will say, you know, your blood drive's coming up, and just think, what else could you do at the day of your blood drive that you know you're going to save somebody's life?
Absolutely.
And that's a pretty cool thing for us to be able to do.
That's a great thing. And so are tickets to the zoo.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thanks, Julie, for being with us.
Appreciate you.
I'm enjoying it a lot. It's a lot of fun. The cast is amazing. Love working with Wendy and Nigel.
Well, it's an absolute blast. She's quirky and fun. I guess, strangely enough, the hardest part is actually being very princessy because I'm such a tomboy. But I'm so excited to attempt to be a princess.
This role is definitely different from what I'm used to. I'm not much of a character actor. But for me, this is a great experience. It's so great being able to work with all of the super talented cast, and Jerome, he's phenomenal.
And definitely Charlie Minot.
It's been great fun doing this show. I mean, it is so big and crazy and off the wall. The most difficult part, obviously, is the obvious, that I'm on my knees.
There's a wide variety of different styles of dance in Shrek. There's everything from traditional Broadway tap to something I have never done before, which is kneeography.
But that's been a lot of fun too, actually.
I feel like the show, in its own regard, is larger than life.
It's huge!
Huge!
It's pretty big.
It brings so much into it, not only just the kids portion of the show,
but yet has a lot of rich heart and is quite enjoyable for the whole family.
But I think it could be epic.
Definitely quirky, fun, loud, boisterous, in your face. just fun. Oh, there's a dragon, for goodness sakes.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Courtney. I know that you are one of the greatest advocates in our county for health, and I've heard that you're going through some health changes and are expecting a baby boy. Is that right?
I am, in August.
Fantastic. And what does his big sister think of that?
That he will be a little bother, and that she will dress him up the way she wants to dress him up. So expect dresses.
As she should. Courtney, you go above and beyond for everything that you do in this community, and I wanted to share that with our listeners and viewers in the City Managers Forum, and tell us a little bit about what you do at the Logan County Health Department.
Well, I am the Physical Activity and Nutrition Coordinator for Logan County, and I dabble in it all. So I work throughout all the schools, in the work sites, in every community, after school programs, you name it, I'm there. At Logan County, we're striving to be the healthiest county. We've got to beat out Kingfisher for that #1 spot, but I think we can get there in a couple years.
Fantastic. Any events slated that are coming up that people might want to attend?
Right now we've got, we're working on Safe Routes to School projects with Fogarty and Guest, so expect new sidewalks at those schools in 2016, which is a big one. Fox News 25 just came out to do an interview about our community garden, which we're in full swing. We had 25 high school students come out, and they donated about 3 hours of their time, and I'm pretty sure I saw the mayor cry. He was so excited on how nice it looked, so they did a great job. And farmers market season, support your local farmers. Come out and get local, it's fresh. Can't get any better than that.
You know, there's a lot of times, I know whenever I've bought fresh produce, and I remember being in a co-op and I got a ton of eggplant, and I had no idea what to do with eggplant. I still really don't know what to do with eggplant. If I had questions of what to cook or how to cook it, where could I go as a resource?
I would go to our Logan County Extension office. Great resources, and we're really trying to work hard to, our farmers market now accepts SNAP benefits. So we're trying to educate SNAP recipients as well as, here's your produce, but here's how we can cook it as well. And that's another thing that we're doing with the garden, is a big nutrition education element. It's not about what you grow, because we want to teach you what you grow. It stemmed 13 other gardens throughout Logan County. How do you eat it? Is there any other way to prepare okra besides deep frying it?
Sure.
There is.
Surprisingly,
yes. And it's good.
That's great. I know that we're coming out of a really cold winter, and people are looking forward to probably wearing clothing such as shorts and t-shirts and tank tops in our community, and they're wanting to get more fit for these spring and summer months. Are there any healthy points that you can tell us or talk to us about, any new dishes that we could cook?
I guess healthy points is just get out there, enjoy our town, be active, see what it all has to offer, and take a walk. Park further away, it saves you. And then healthy dishes, it's summertime. Enjoy your strawberries, enjoy your blackberries, eat fresh.
Thanks for all that you do in our community. We look forward to eating better and living better.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Chalk Talk. Thanks, Serena, for passing it over to us. And my name is Mike Simpson. I'm superintendent of Guthrie Public Schools, and today we're with Chief of Police for Guthrie, the city of Guthrie, Don Sweger. Don is new to this community, but Don, the thing I've learned about Guthrie is, until you've been here about 35, 40 years, you're new to the community, so don't worry about it. I'm still new to the community too.
Absolutely.
Don't worry about it at all. And what we want to talk today to Chief Sweger about is school safety. And you know, Guthrie has had school resource officers for many years, and we've added a couple a year ago. And I want to talk to Chief Sweger about what their role is at school and what his thoughts are on it. And then we're going to talk a little bit about school safety. So Chief, welcome to Chalk Talk. Glad to have you here today. And tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
My name's Sweger. I've been here for about 8 months now. I've enjoyed the city of Guthrie. I've enjoyed working with you at school immensely. The school system here is very nice, very open, works very well with the police department. You can't say that about a lot of the communities in the state. It's very pleasant, enjoyable.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate the effort that you put forth to keep our schools safe. And so let's talk a little bit about the SRO program. You're familiar with it before you got here. I think you'd had some of those before. What's the difference in an SRO and a security guard?
SROs are actually police officers. They've gone through the same training as any other police officer you see on the street. Security guard goes through maybe 3 weeks of training, where a police officer goes through almost 6 months worth of training, and then a big, long, drawn-out field training program within the department. Then they go through actual training inside the school system that they're going to work. And so their job is a lot more than just keeping the kids safe. Absolutely. Their role, above and beyond keeping the children safe and keeping the facility safe, is to work as a liaison between the children and the employees of the school, work as liaison between the police department and the school, between the parents and the school. I mean, they fulfill numerous roles. They serve as impromptu counselors. It gives another outlet for the children to vent to in lieu of the authoritarian roles of the school employees sometimes. They play a very interesting role within the school itself without being an actual school employee per se. It brings a very interesting dynamic out there that many schools don't have access to, and it's an invaluable tool both to the police department and to the school system and to the children that so many communities just can't afford and don't have access to. Without a doubt. You know, one of the great things about the partnership we have with the City of Guthrie and the Guthrie Police Department is that one of the police officers is paid for by the City of Guthrie. 2 of them are paid for. We budget for that with the school. So we have 3 SROs that they're assigned. Each of them have 2 buildings assigned to them. Right. They're based at one building. They have an additional assignment. But the thing that I like the most about the SROs, you touched on counseling. I know, because I've been in the school business a long time, there are some of our kids that the only vision they have of a police officer is something that may have happened bad with their parents or with someone they knew or somewhere they were staying. And so this is an opportunity for the police to be held in a positive light. Absolutely. With our students. Absolutely. And so they have somebody to talk to that is an authoritarian figure, but maybe not a school official. So let's talk about what have you seen. What have you seen with our schools and safety, and what do you see? Because you're new, you're an outsider, like I was 3 years ago, and you come in and you've been in other places. You've seen other schools and things like that in other communities. Tell me what you think about it with safety, with regard to safety. Guthrie Public Schools is a very interesting dynamic. Its buildings bring a lot of very interesting challenges to historic. They're historic. There's no doubt about that. But they bring a lot of challenges to the police department in regards to safety and security. They were built in a time where the architecture of the day were school buildings were designed to be open. They were designed for parents members of the community to come and go at will, to pick up children at will. There weren't these rigid, strict standards that we have today, so that the children and the employees are safe, so that we don't have children that disappear, and we don't have people that we don't want to show up at school unannounced. The way these buildings are designed, the school faces a very difficult challenge in being able to secure doors, to be able to control access in and out of the building. And that's not to say that the superintendent and his staff aren't doing a remarkable job with what they have available to them, but it is to say that it's far from being able to do the job that they could do, because based upon the architecture, without spending money that nobody has currently, just to redo some of the what's the word I'm looking for?
Entrances.
The entrances,
yeah.
The framework around these doors would cost more than probably the whole entire wall of the building is worth itself.
And you know, one of the things that we've done after the Newtown shooting, we started looking at things differently, just like every school district did. And we've added the card swipes and the cameras at the front doors, and you know, we're going to try to, we need some additional money to enhance some of that to make our schools safer. But the thing I always say too is, you know, we have 3 elementary schools that are located on state highways, and I'm not talking about located where the entrance to the parking lot is on state highways. The building is on the state highway, with a sidewalk separating it from, and then you throw into that the windows in these buildings. They were designed to let light in and to be open because they didn't have air conditioning, not for safety. And so those are some of the challenges that, as a school administrator, I face every day with that. And thanks to the Guthrie Police Department, we feel safer every day because you're there in our buildings. Talk a little bit about what do you think parents and kids could do on a daily basis to make the school safer as well?
It primarily relies on the age-old adage of if you see something, say something. The parents and the kids are in these buildings every day. If you see someone that doesn't belong, or you see somebody that's behaving inappropriately or out of the norm, say something. All the school officials are identified. They wear their name tags. All my police officers out there that are assigned out there on a regular basis, they have school name tags. All my police officers that work patrol on a normal basis, they're in their uniforms. We only have 2 individuals that work for the police department that aren't in uniforms normally, and that's myself and my detective, and we clearly have our badges displayed. If you see any guns or anything beyond the norm such as that, let someone that's clearly marked as a school employee or as a police officer in full uniform know. You see anything out of the ordinary, you see a stranger, you see anything that sets the hair up on the back of your neck, let somebody know. The sooner the better. Don't wait 5 minutes, don't wait 5 seconds, let somebody know right away. Time is of the essence. If it turns out to be nothing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We would rather be safe than sorry. We never ever want to gamble with the lives of children. It's not worth it.
That's great advice. And the thing I would add is, parents, if your child says, well, I heard this, it's okay to say, where'd you hear that from? Who told you? Don't just say you heard it. Let's get concrete information so that the Guthrie Police Department and Guthrie Public Schools can track down what is a threat or hopefully some false report because our kids were safe. And that's something that I know Chief and we talk pretty regular basis about keeping our kids safe. And I greatly appreciate the partnership that Guthrie Police Department and Guthrie Public Schools have and working with Chief Sweger. And Chief, I want to thank you for being here today. And we're going to turn it over to Sereniah now.
David, thanks for being back with us. We always love having you here. And as the Logan County City of Guthrie Emergency Manager, working for that Emergency Management Office, tell us a little bit about what you do as we're approaching some of the stormiest weather season here in May. Tell us a little bit about what you do with emergency management.
This time of year being spring season with the weather, we have a group of volunteers that are storm spotters for us. We basically watch the weather. Most of the time, it's not anything super severe tornadoes. Tornadoes are few and far between, but there are times where we'll have the storms that will have a tornado or two.
If I wanted to hear about tips, I know that earlier you have recorded us some tips. One thing that we as a city hear about is we get questions about where do I go if there's a tornado? Should I go seek? Should I drive and go try to find a shelter, or what would I do? So if you were to just give your #1 tip on shelter in place, what would you tell people to do?
Probably the #1 thing is know where you're going to go before the sirens go off. Obviously, the city of Guthrie has no public shelters, so if you're going to drive to Grandma's house because she has a shelter but she lives on the west side and you live on the east side, you gotta go before the sirens go off. Once the sirens go off, it's just not safe for you to be in your car to try to travel anywhere.
I think that's great, safe information. We hear so oftentimes that people don't have a plan, and I think you're absolutely right that having a plan is critical during these especially in the spring months.
Yes, ma'am. Have a plan, make a kit, stay informed. You can have a plan, but you got to stay informed, whether it's the local news media or an app on your phone or watching on the computer. You just have to stay informed. Another awesome tool that everybody hopefully has would be a weather radio. You can set it by your nightstand, because if we have a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning at 3 o'clock in the morning, your TV's not going to automatically come on and tell you, hey, there's a tornado coming. So that weather radio, you can program them just for Logan County. And when the National Weather Service issues watches or warnings for Logan County is the only time that it would go off. So it's kind of like a smoke detector in a way.
And is it true that most tornadoes are usually later in the evenings?
Usually in the late afternoons, early evenings is the prime time. It can happen at any time, but most of the time usually it's that 3 to about 10 p.m. time frame.
Well, David, thanks, and I know that you have talked about some tips, and we're going to air that for our viewers. I think you're absolutely right in being critical of having a plan, executing that plan. We thank you for all that you do in keeping our community safe.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hi, my name is David Ball. I'm Emergency Management for Logan County and City of Guthrie. Today I'm coming to talk about weather safety tips. The best thing everybody can do is have a plan, make a kit, stay informed. Have a plan, know where you're going to go before you have to get there. Know that if your safe room plan is to go to your safe room in your garage, make sure it's clean, make sure there's no spiders, scorpions, snakes, grenades, anything bad in there. Make sure you have enough room for you and your family. I'd also like to remind the residents of Guthrie that the City of Guthrie does not have any public shelters. Therefore, it's so important that you'll have your plan. If your plan is to drive across town to maybe Grandma's house, that you give yourself enough time to get there. Have a kit, have something that ready to go, clothes, medicine, ID, a little bit of money, cell phone charger, a little bit of water, snacks, change of clothes, shoes for everybody in your family. Have 3 ways of getting information. Whether it be a NOAA weather radio, the storm sirens, TV, different apps on your phone, or computer weather monitoring programs that you can get on your computer at home. Our sirens in town are designated as outdoor warning devices. They are not intended to be heard in your house. When activated, they will go for 3 minutes, a continuous steady blast, and we do no all clear sirens after a storm event. And again, my name is David Ball. I'm the Emergency Manager for Logan County. If you've got any questions, feel free to call me. My office number is 282-0494. 282-0494.
One of the tools to ensure safety within our community during the weather season is Blackboard Connect. which allows you as a citizen to be notified through your cell phone or at home that the National Weather Service in Norman has issued a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning for the city of Guthrie or Logan County. If you haven't signed up, here's how you can do so.
To sign up for Blackboard Connect, go to the City of Guthrie's website at cityofguthrie.com. Click the Sign Up for Notifications tab, then select the Sign Me Up link to the right of the login button. Supply your name and email address and create a password, and enter your contact information and address and select your preferences. You can log back in to change your preferences at any time. Don't have a home computer or internet? The police department or library can help sign you up, get connected, and stay informed.
I want to thank the individuals that we spoke to today as guests, and I want to thank our viewers that continue to watch the City Managers Forum.